welcome to Kid Cardboard. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make Captain America's new shield from Avengers Infinity War. So let's get into it. So I'm just tracing out my piece for the main part of the shield, and this is half of it. So I'm just putting my hand to see where the straps will go later on, and now I'm cutting it out. Okay, so now my piece is cut out. I'm going to need two of them. So I have both of them cut out. I'm going to glue them together at an angle with my hot glue gun. So I'm just going to put some glue all along the edge of one of the pieces and then stick it together at an angle. It's okay if it starts to come apart, just try to hold it together at an angle. So now this is dry. I'm just going to put some glue in the cracks here. Just to make it nice and strong. Okay, so those are dry. There's a little hole there. That's okay. I can fix that later with a piece that goes there about halfway up. So I do have some foam, but I'm mostly going to be using cardboard. So I have some thinner cardboard. As you can see, I'm going to use that. I bent it and folded it in half, so now it's symmetrical, and when I cut the piece it will be symmetrical, so then it won't look wonky. So I put that on. It was a little big, so I made it a little smaller, the front a little smaller. I put it on, that looked good, so then I got it in place. It's about an inch up from the front, and then I will glue it on in a minute, but first I am just sketching out where the other pieces will need to go. So now I'm gonna glue this piece on. So that's glued on, just making sure it's nice and tight on there. So then I'm just gonna go over and make sure that everything is in the correct spot, like all the drawings on it, for my pieces, and then I can go and cut those out once I finish drawing it. So now I am cutting out the first, well, I guess the second piece, but the first main piece. So I'm going and cutting that out, and then I can glue it on, and I will need a second one of these. So put it on, cutting it to the correct size, fixing any little things I need to fix. So before I glue it, I'm going to trace it, and once I trace it, I can go ahead and cut it out. Try to make it as good as I can. So I have both the pieces cut out, putting glue on one of them, and then going and putting glue on the other one once I get the first one glued down. And on both of them, I'm trying to make them at the exact same spot on each side so it looks symmetrical. So I'm just going to use some thinner cardboard Once again, I'm just sketching that same piece out as best as I can, and then I can go ahead and see if it fits and cut it out. Okay, so I have that piece cut out. I'm just making sure it's in the correct spot, making sure it doesn't move, and then cutting it off, putting it on, and I'll need 2 of those. So I have both of them cut out, 1 for each side. I'm just going to put some glue on the back and stick it down, and then I can do the same with the other side. Just put some glue on the back, and then I can stick it down. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to work on that long piece. So I'm just going to sketch out the main body of it right now out of some thicker cardboard. So I'm just going and sketching that out. And then I can go and cut it out once I'm done, and then we can cut the second one out. So that looks pretty good. I'm just making it all flat so it fits, making it look smooth. So I need 2 for each side, well, 1 for each side. So I'm putting some glue on the back once I traced it out. And then I can do the second one and put some glue on the back of that one and make sure it fits, cut any extra pieces off, and put some glue on and stick it down. So that looks pretty good. So now I need the small piece, but before I do that, I had a piece in between there, but I just erased that off of the half of the shield. So now I'm gonna work on the small piece. So I'm tracing that out on some of the thinner cardboard as best as I can, and then we can see if it fits when we are done putting it on. So I put it on, didn't glue it yet, but cut it, make sure it fits. I need 2 of them, got both of them cut out, putting some glue on the back, sticking it down, and then doing the exact same thing with the other piece, putting glue on the back and sticking it down. So that looks pretty good. So now there's these just little small strips. These pieces are not in the template. You guys can cut them out. They're just really thin, like centimeter strips. It really depends how your shield turns out. That's how big or skinny you need to make it. So I did that, and I can cut off any excess pieces I don't need. Cut off the back part a little bit, make it round, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing on the second piece. Put some glue on it, stick it down, cut any extra pieces off, flip it over, and do the same on the back. So there's the main part of the shield. Now there's this small little triangle part. I'm just going to make that out of some thicker cardboard. I'm just tracing the inside of the triangle and then tracing it again, cutting it out, making it a little bit bigger so then I have some stuff to glue. And then I'm scoring it. I'm doing it at an angle so it can bend, and then I'll just pull it out. I rub it with the tip of the knife and then scrape it with a pencil. I think that's the best thing for cardboard when I'm scoring at an angle. And then I'll just trace it and put the glue on there, and then I can put it on. So that looks good. There are little tip piece on there, so I'm just tracing that, and then I can cut it out. I'm making an angle on the back, and I can put that on. So right here I am putting the straps on with some thicker cardboard. So then I'm just cutting some strips out, and then I can go ahead and bend those. So then I'm making two little pieces where I can put some glue on each side, adjusting it to where I need it, drawing some lines, and then I can measure it again and cut the strap. And then I can put some glue on one side and put some glue on the other side. So then for the next one, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. And then I can cut off the excess pieces that I don't need, and make sure it all fits. So it looks really good. Okay, so I spray painted the shield black, and then I have some black paint and white paint that I'm gonna mix together to make some gray for the details. So then I'm just adding a bit more black paint to make it a bit darker, mixing it up, making it to the color I like. So this is one of my favorite techniques, dry brushing. So if you haven't seen some of my other videos, it's just a paintbrush with no water, and you wipe it off, and then it makes it nice and light. So I'm just going and doing that on the entire shield, the tips, the edges, the curves, pretty much everything. So as you can see, I have it all over. I'm still working on most of it, but it looks good. I'm getting in the details there, going all over. Then getting some on the tip. So that looks really good. So now I have some lighter details, but what I'm gonna do is use a thinner paintbrush, and I'm gonna make the gray a little bit lighter by adding some white to it. So then I get more like a silver color. So when I paint it on, it looks white, but when it dries, it's like a gray. It looks really good. So I'm doing that on both sides. I'm looking at a photo just to see where I need the gray. And then I'm doing another spot a bit farther up with that same color gray. So there's it on both sides. Then I'm taking my thinner paintbrush and doing some lines, 2 little lines on the tip piece. And then just going on the triangle part.